So, welcome to the second of my Final App progress videos. In this update video, I'll show you all the new things that I've done since the last video. All the things that I've done are listed here, but I won't read them all out to you. You can see them. I'll just show you most of the upgrades right away on the app itself. For one thing, I made it so that there's now a picker to select the suit, so that isn't just randomized, you're actually selecting a suit now. And I made it so that there's a bank of messages for random matches, so that some sort of verse will show up, rather than just a blank message. Like, I'll show you another one. There's another one. It's a different one each time. I think there's 20 different ones, something like that. Then, most of the new work, though, is on the actual game screen. As you can see, I've actually laid out all the different components with all the characters and cards and text boxes with some that keep track of game state, all those sorts of things. So all of these are working as intended. This was a random match, so like the enemies and that sort of thing were randomized. If I did this in a level, there would be a set combination. There were a lot of different parts of this, such as making files that contain all the code for cards and suits and enemies and all those sorts of different things. And I made it so all 36 cards in the game are shuffled up, and the 9 different ones are dealt out to each player. So you can see 9 of them at the bottom. You'll notice one issue that I am having right now is the leftmost card isn't quite visible. It's actually still pressable, but you can't see what the number or symbol on it is. So obviously that's going to need to be fixed. That's one of the 3 things that I have here still left to do. Obviously, what I still have left to do is actually implement the game logic, and then fix that row. And then I do want to add music and sound effects. The only thing that I have left to show you is what bit of game logic I do have right now. Just basically, if I press a card, I play it, and then in response, all that I have right now is all of the enemies are just playing a random card from their hand. So obviously, there will be a lot more game logic than that. But as you see, I press a card, and it's played, and then in response, all the enemies are playing a card. Right now, scores aren't being adjusted. The cards that, the CPUs are playing might not even be legal based on the game rules. All those sorts of things will still be done. But right now, it's all, just working as intended. Oh, and then once the hand is emptied, that's the trigger that I have right now that says, okay, the game is over. And that's when the app will navigate to the results screen. No matter what I do at this point, it's going to say that the player lost, because right now the scores aren't being adjusted. So, and a tie is actually a loss in this game. So, but I do actually already have all of the results screen logic done. Like if this game were a victory, it would say you win, and it would have some message based on what level it was. Some sort of message about there's some story update, if you win the match. So based on whether you win or lose, whether it was a random match or level, or what level it was, all of those different things affect what the message here is and what buttons are available. In this case, I can press new match to create a new random match, or I can just press main menu to go back to that main menu. And that's pretty much everything that I have to show you for the app. So I'll actually show you the code now before wrapping up the video. And obviously there's way too much code to go over everything right now, so I'll just go over the main new topics. So yeah, for that suit select screen, the main update that I did is I added this picker with the 4 different options. Nothing too complicated. There were some other tweaks that I made, to make all the formatting correct. But this screen is done as much as it needs to be. I may make a couple tweaks, later on, but it's all working like it needs to, so it's definitely satisfactory. Basically, the only screen that I have left to do any work on, with the exception of maybe adding some music and sound effects later, the only screen that I actually have to work on is just the main game screen, obviously, because that's where all of that game logic is going to be. Here is how I laid out all the components. There's a row that's the enemies, and then the cards that they've played, and then there's the row that has the different text boxes with the card that the user has played, and then it has the user's suit, which is like their character. And then down at the bottom, I render the hand, which basically just uses a map, which is maps based on the array that has all the cards in it, all the user's cards in it, all the hand, and then for each one in there, it creates an image of a card that, when it's pressed, handles the card press, and this is where a lot more game logic is going to be eventually. Like I said earlier, I already have all the pseudocode mapped out for that, so it should be pretty quick getting most of it done. So most of the work is just going to be, as I'm implementing it, just testing it, debugging it, make sure that it's all working as intended. And I guess I could show you these files. Game images, this is where I have like the styling and information for the cards and the suits and the enemies. Just keeping the game screen simple by importing things like that. Also even importing those two text boxes. That way I just have to just keep track of the scores and those other state variables instead of having all this text formatting stuff in the game screen. Just makes it a lot easier to read, since there will be a lot of game logic in that file, and I want to keep it easy. So that's the important new code. Obviously, the next video will have some more interesting code, because it's going to have all the ins and outs of implementing the game logic, which I'm very excited about doing. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.